Hey, true seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Thursday, January 26th, 2017. I just put out a video on how the Madden simulation in August of 2016 predicted the Falcons would win the Super Bowl. This is the 14th prediction by the Madden video game before the season begins of who will win the Super Bowl. They were 9-12. They missed last year, so they became 9-13. If the Falcons were to win, the Madden simulation would be 10 out of 14. If the Falcons lose, the Madden simulation will be 9 out of 14, which is very impressive, win or lose. In Super Bowl 49, the Madden simulation called the exact score and the two correct teams before the season even began. They said Patriots would defeat Seahawks 28-24, which is exactly what the score of Super Bowl 49 was. So anyhow, beginning of this season, August, Madden predicted the Falcons, and what I've been saying is the reason Madden is able to predict these so accurately is because these aren't really predictions. This is mocking. These are computer simulations built to have the outcome that they do to mock the fans. Professional sports are scripted to the point, to the number. The two teams meeting in Super Bowl 51, they have a point differential in all-time points scored against each other of 51 points, 249 to 300. And the last time that they met in history was September 29th, 2013, a date with 51 numerology. Just how last season I was pointing out that the Broncos and Panthers had last played each other and scored a sum of 50 points against each other. In November, I was showing that was one of many signs that they would meet in Super Bowl 50, the Broncos and Panthers, as they did. So anyway, here we are. The Falcons are in the Super Bowl with a chance to win. Last video I put out was on the Madden simulation. Check this out. In July of this past year, July 2016, Matt Ryan retired his jersey with Boston College on July 5th, a date that can be written 5/7. Now remember, Matt Ryan's facing the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, who play just outside of Boston. He went to Boston College, Matt Ryan. And in history, the Boston baseball team, the Boston Red Stockings, who became the Boston Red Sox, who became the Boston Braves, they left Boston. They went to Milwaukee for one season, and they've been the Atlanta Braves ever since. So the team from Boston, the original baseball team, is now in Atlanta. And the reason that's so interesting is because all year I've been saying about this connection between the 112th World Series, which the Cubs just won. In spring training, I said why the Cubs would win this World Series. It was clear in the numbers. Why they would break the 108-year drought. Anyhow, I've been saying the 112th World Series. I said why it would end on Game 7 on 11/2, as it did, months before it was even a possible scenario. I just said, watch, the 112th World Series will end in Game 7 on 11/2. It's too perfect. Lo and behold, it did. But anyhow, 112th World Series, and this year it's Houston hosting the Super Bowl. Notice in the language of gematria, Houston equals 112. There's only two starting quarterbacks in the NFL with 112 name gematria, Matt Ryan and Andrew Luck. And Andrew Luck, who played his high school ball in Houston because his father was a Houston Oiler, the Colts were scheduled to play at the Texans Stadium, which is hosting Super Bowl 51, exactly 112 days before the Super Bowl, something that was very interesting. So anyway, 112th World Series, Matt Ryan, the appropriate name gematria of 112, just like the city of Houston hosting the Super Bowl, and now Atlanta meeting Boston essentially in the Super Bowl, when in history the baseball team from Boston is now in Atlanta. And that team won championships in Boston and Atlanta. Notice, in gematria, World Series equals 57, and when you write out 57, it sums to 131, like championship, like Super Bowl. Matt Ryan had his jersey retired on July 5th, a date that's written as 5/7 in most parts of the world. Not by coincidence. Again, as I've been explaining, collegiate sports are rigged, Professional sports are rigged, and the different levels, which are both involved in Vegas gambling, the different levels are interconnected and often giving tributes to each other. This is something I missed in the offseason that I wish I didn't. More than a year ago, I was talking about why Matt Ryan and the Atlanta Falcons were a real threat for this year's Super Bowl. I wish I had seen the Madden simulation story along the way and this jersey retirement. These are huge stories that, you know what, I didn't hear about. And as far as I know, the many people who follow my work and I asked to help out, I don't think anyone tipped me off to this. And if you did and I didn't catch it, please, if you tip me off to something that's important and I don't respond, it's because I didn't see it. If you give me something that's meat, I'm going to make a blog post about it, a video about it. So this is what I mean. We have to be aware of this knowledge. We have to work together. The clues are getting dropped every season. And the more eyes watching, the more we're going to see it, the more we're going to work together and figure out the championships before they happen. The clues were all here. I talked about all the right things for the last year, and we just didn't quite connect the pieces right. So check this out. With regards to 57, the Patriots are in their 57th season, and here they go to another Super Bowl. Matt Ryan went to Boston College. The Atlanta Braves were once the Boston Red Stockings. Here it is right here. Boston Red Stockings. All this year's in Boston. Changed it to Boston Braves, Milwaukee Braves, Atlanta Braves. Oh, I was wrong about Milwaukee Braves for just a season. I thought it was just a season, but I was mistaken about that. But think about it. The Falcons advanced over Wisconsin, Milwaukee. It's Green Bay, but it's not too far away. It's still the state of Wisconsin. Georgia advances over Wisconsin, was once in Massachusetts. The NFC Championship over Wisconsin, will it be the Super Bowl championship over the Patriots? I think a lot more lines up for the Patriots, but it could happen. So I did a video earlier this week where I covered this information. The Falcons are in their 51st season for Super Bowl 51. Falcon, the singular 51. Houston Texans hosting Super Bowl 51 like conspiracy. The two teams have met 13 times before. Super Bowl in gematria sums to 41. 41's the 13th prime number. Very interesting that they've only met 13 times in history. The Patriots lead 7 wins to 6. A Falcons win would make it 7-7. A Patriots win would make it 8-6. Want to show you something about 13 and 51. 233 is the 13th Fibonacci number. Fibonacci. Important natural mathematical sequence. Look it up if it's new to you. Here's the word Fibonacci. The word Fibonacci has a gematria of 44. The Super Bowl's on a date with 44 numerology. There's only 2 states with 44 gematria. They're Wisconsin and Georgia. And Georgia advanced over Wisconsin with 44 points, not by coincidence. It's the same reason a year ago I favored them as the top 2 teams to be in the Super Bowl in the NFC. Go watch the mini videos, blog posts. In the last 3 years that I've been doing this, talking about Wisconsin and Georgia and 44 and Brett Favre, who was drafted 33rd overall by the Falcons. We'll get to him in a moment. There's a Brett Favre riddle here. But anyway, 233 is the 51st prime and the 13th Fibonacci number. Here these teams are meeting in Super Bowl 51, having played each other 13 times. Show you something real quick about 14. This was the 14th Madden simulation prediction. This will be the 14th game between the Patriots and Falcons for the Super Bowl. When you write out 14, it sums to 41, plus just the number 14 is the reflection of 41 when you write it down on paper. Interesting, right? At least I think so. Part of the reason I favored Andrew Luck over Matt Ryan out of these two men was, again, Luck has the Houston connections, the way the Colts were scheduled. Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's father, who looks like his twin, he played for the Oilers 33 years earlier with Archie Manning, Eli Manning's father, that same season. There was a major narrative for a Colts-Giants Super Bowl. A repeat of the greatest game ever played. It wasn't so, but the narrative was there. I wonder if possibly what I read into was the plan B for the Super Bowl. Or who knows, maybe it was the plan A and this was the plan B, but I don't think so. This World Series connection is something else. And did I put that up here? See if I can show you this real quick. Here's another thing that's really interesting. From the prediction, this simulation, this simulation by Madden, which was August 29th, 2016, to the date of the NFC Championship where the Falcons made it to the Super Bowl, that's 147 days. And in Gematria, World Series equals 147. You know, this World Series riddle. Also, the winning score of the simulation was 41-35 over the Steelers, who lost to the Patriots in the AFC. 35 is the Tom Brady number. His name, his birth numerology, the word suspended is 35. He was suspended to start the season. It's all part of a riddle. Show you these things. Here's the last time the Falcons and Patriots played each other, September 29th, 2013. The score was 30-23 in favor of the Patriots. It was a date with 51 numerology, 9 plus 29 plus 13, 51. Notice the scoring differential, 249-300, a differential of 51 points, meaning in Super Bowl 51 in the league that has been scripted to the point since 1966, the first Super Bowl season, as I've been saying for years. When you see these matchups and the way they're structured, it always becomes undeniable. There's only one way to do this, to script it. 53, the sum of points, is the 16th prime. This season began in 2016, the 2016 campaign. Anyway, I covered a lot of this in earlier videos. You can check those out. Here's some new information. Brett Favre, who was drafted 33rd overall by the Atlanta Falcons on the 33rd parallel, but before being shipped off to play for the Packers, who have the Big G, like the Freemason compass and square, the gang that worships 33, where Big G represents 33 in Francis Bacon Gematria. Here's what's so interesting about Brett Favre. Check this out. Born October 10th, 1969. He's currently 47 years old. This is Super Bowl 51, the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. The first Super Bowl was in the 47th season of the NFL. Freemasonry created American football. Freemasonry has something called Euclid's 47th problem. The word foundation in Gematria equals 47. So does framework. Euclid's 47th problem is about how to establish a perfectly square foundation for a building. Super Bowl 47, the first Super Bowl in the 47th season of the NFL. This year's Super Bowl 51, the 47th Super Bowl of the modern era. You might recall Super Bowl 47, which was between the 49ers and Ravens, that had a 33-minute blackout. So anyway, Brett Favre is a quarterback in history who defeated the Patriots in a Super Bowl, 35-21. 35-21. That 35 stands out like a sore thumb. The Tom Brady number, it almost makes me wonder if it's all part of the script. This was Super Bowl 31 right here. And this year, the Super Bowl is in Houston. Super Bowl 31, the Patriots lost to the Packers. This year, the Patriots faced the Falcons in Houston. Matt Ryan equals 31, the small way. He's 31 years old. Matty Ice, his nickname in Gematria. Let me just show this to you so you can just see and appreciate. Matty Ice, the nickname, using the English reduction method. If you followed me from the beginning, there's only two methods I taught when I first started here. These two. Matty Ice. This is the reduction method. This is using the alphabetic order. 96 is the Freemason number. Matty Ice plays in ATL on the 33rd parallel. And there's one other method you should know about. It's the S exception. Atlanta is named after the lost city of Atlantis, down on the 33rd parallel. Favre was the 33rd overall pick, traded to the Packers that have the Big G on the side of their helmet. Big G in Francis Bacon Gematria is 33. This year, the Falcons advanced over Aaron Rodgers, who was 33 years old and came into the game with 33 career postseason passing touchdowns. Tom Brady right now sitting at 33 playoff games. None of this is coincidence. It's all how it's structured, it's scripted, planned out many years in advance. So anyhow, Brett Favre defeated the Patriots in a Super Bowl. I want to show you what's so interesting about Brett Favre in regards to this Super Bowl. His birthday is October 10th, right? Born in 1969. From his birthday to the Super Bowl is 118 days. Patriots equals 118. The AFC and NFC championship, if you had all the points scored between all four teams, it sums to 118. They said who the referee will be for the Super Bowl on January 18th. 1/18, Carl Schaefer's number 51. He wears referee number 51 for Super Bowl 51. This will be the Patriots' 51st playoff game. And let's not forget that Bill Belichick equals 97. Bill Belichick, 97. This is the 97th season of the NFL. 97 is the 25th prime number. The Super Bowl's on 2/5, a lot like 25. Or if you write it 5/2, Brady and Belichick can become 5-2 in Super Bowls. Falcons equals 25. If Brady wins, it'll be his 25th playoff win in the Patriots' 51st playoff game all time for Super Bowl 51. Very interesting how Brett Favre is 118 days from this Super Bowl, and it involves the Falcons, the team he was drafted by, 33 overall, 1991, before being traded to the Packers with the big G. And it's amazing how all throughout history the Packers and Falcons have given tributes to each other in scores. I've documented this in the regular season several times. Several times in the past, it's been all about 44 with the Packers and Falcons, who just played in the NFC Championship with the Falcons winning with 44 points. I'll remind you that the week before, the Packers defeated the Cowboys. That was exactly 44 days after Aaron Rodgers' birthday. The game began at 4:40 Eastern. It was the anniversary of Super Bowl 50, where the Packers defeated the Chiefs. That day, the Packers won. The Chiefs lost. The Packers defeated the Dallas Cowboys. It was the Dallas Texans in history that became the Kansas City Chiefs, who lost in Super Bowl I 50 years earlier to the day. January 15th, 2017. The recent games, January 15th, 1967, the date of Super Bowl I. So anyhow, I think we covered it all. Hold on. One last thing to point out. Patriots, Broncos. Last year, Peyton Manning goes off into the sunset, age 39, after defeating the Carolina Panthers. The Panthers, NFC South. The Falcons, NFC South. They've each been in 2 Super Bowls now. The Panthers have lost to the Patriots and the Broncos in the time of Brady and Manning. And the Falcons, they've lost to the Broncos in Super Bowl 33, and now they're about to play the Patriots in Super Bowl 51. If the Patriots win, remember that. You know, that these 2 NFC South teams would have then lost to the same 2 opponents who've had Manning and Brady, the face of the league, and now them going to back-to-back Super Bowls at the old age of 39. Here's Super Bowl 33, Broncos over the Falcons. It was played on a date with 33 numerology. Also January 31st, 1/31, 131, where we began, the Super Bowl number, 131. Add it up. 1 + 3 + 1 + 1 + 9 + 9 + 9 is 33. Date of Super Bowl 33. 2004, in Houston, the Patriots beat the Panthers. Imagine if they beat the Falcons in Houston. The same 2 teams in the same city. You know? That was Super Bowl 38, 13 years ago. 41, the 13th prime, Super Bowl 41. Now here's Super Bowl 50. Broncos win with 24. And the reason that's so funny is because the Broncos got wasted by the 49ers in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. The Broncos won in the 49ers Stadium last year with 24 points. John Elway was 55 years old. The Broncos were 55 years old. They got blown out in Super Bowl 24, 55-10. So here we are, Super Bowl 51. What's going to happen, huh? If the Patriots win, This will be the 25th AFC Super Bowl. It's the 97 season, 97 the 25th prime. We'll see. I think a lot lines up for the Patriots, but there is a little narrative there for the Falcons. Down below, I'm going to link this video. This is from May 11th, 2015, just talking about all the Tom Brady headlines by the numbers, how it's all about 35. It's always the same. If you missed these videos I put out earlier this week, January 23rd, two of the most recent football videos I've done. There's more. I put out a lot of videos, True Seeker. If you're not subscribed here, I put out a ton of content, and the least important thing I do are these sports, but the reason I do it is to wake up to the masses of this scripting. And if you learn about this scripting, you understand it's done by the Freemasons, and they apply it to way more than sports. I realized that this video got removed. Wow. Amazing. I didn't even get notified that they removed it. But anyway, check out those two latest videos. And if you just search Zachary K. Hubbard NFL, a lot will come up. I'll just finish by playing this quick clip. This is from a video that I posted in July. A video that I posted in July 2016. Something that I had said repeatedly going back years. For more than a year, I've talked about the very real possibility of the Falcons or Packers being in this Super Bowl. Check this out. Turn this up. Here we go.
And if I have a third team, it's the Green Bay Packers, also in the division of the Vikings. Prince Rogers Nelson reminds a lot of Rodgers, the quarterback in the Packers, and the receiver Jordy Nelson. Green Bay also has a lot of connections to 44, like the Super Bowl. And if I wanted to take a really risky bet, I'd put a little money on the Atlanta Falcons too. They have the 44 connections as well.
So you hear that? I'm talking about how they both have the connections to 44, how it's important on the Super Bowl. This before the season began, and it was just one of many times that I said it. Now, something I observed, now that the Falcons are in the Super Bowl, do you know where Prince did his last show before he fell ill shortly before his death? Prince's last show was in Atlanta. Prince did his last performance in Atlanta, who's going to the Super Bowl. And remember what I said the day Prince died about how he might be a riddle with the Super Bowl. Prince died at age 57. Remember, 57's our championship number? You know? Using the English alphabet, which is ordinal on the screen when it pops up. Prince died at age 57 on the 112th day of the year, April 21st, 2016. And I said it from the day he died. I said there might very well be a riddle here with Prince and the upcoming Super Bowl as well as the World Series. Prince's last show in Atlanta, you guys. Dead at 57 on the 112th day of the year. Houston Matt Ryan. You know? And let's not forget, in February, on the date February 16th, I uploaded a video, which you can still watch, about the death of Vanity, and I said how her death foreshadows that we're going to be reading about Prince dying soon. I talked specifically about the number 67. Prince died 67 days from Vanity. Again, the sport predictions are part of the knowledge, but the reason to know this knowledge is because you will see so much more about what's going on in this world. You know? Prince, Super Bowl, death, ritual murders, and who's responsible, and why we, the manpower, need to wake up and put an end to this. Enough with the fixed sports, enough with the ritual sacrifice, enough with the lying to humanity about what's really going on in this world. If you never read the book 1984, that book is about a nation of people who are lied to through screens and who are distracted with football. Welcome to the United States of America, you know? So I'm going to link all of this in the description. Check out this video, my How to Gematria video I'll put down there. Give you plenty of good information to watch. Prince, he also died on the 44th parallel in Chanhassen, Minnesota. R.I.P. until next time.